Hello to everyone in social media. This is Lindsay Huddleston with Sports Psychology Solutions, coming to you from Eastern High School in Lansing, Michigan. I just finished a great session with the Eastern Quaker ladies basketball team. Today we talked about confidence, and I want to share with you a very interesting exercise you can do with your team. As always, with Sports Psychology Solutions, the focus is sports psychology opportunities for sports, but it can also relate to the professional world as well. We did a great exercise. It was a great team building exercise in which we discussed how you could put all your players together and work on building their confidence bank. And in that confidence bank, it's very important that you can make positive deposits so that when the time is needed to be able to bring positive things out, you can do that. So what I require each student to do is to put one individual in the hot seat, and I'll share a picture with that shortly. And each team member had to go around and share one positive basketball attribute, followed by a positive personal attribute. So they were able to talk about positivity. They were able to talk about basketball positivity, that is, as well as a personal attribute. Now, the interesting thing is, it was very easy to share a positive basketball attribute about their teammate. Oh, you shoot great free throws, you're great on defense. However, the challenge came when it came time to discuss personal attributes. And I don't think this is a personal knock on the young ladies at this school. I think it's just a general thing. We don't spend enough time with each other to be able to talk about positive personal attributes. And I want that to be something we can talk about today. It's very easy to look at the things that you can do in basketball, how great you are, how athletic you are. But when it comes down to, the type of person you are, and it meant so much to these young ladies when their teammates were able to share with them things that they thought were really important, with the example being, you're a great person off the court, you're a great friend, I can rely on you. So to all my coaches out there, coaches, parents, I think it's really important that we focus on that. One other thing that stood out during that time was it was very easy to make backhanded compliments. You're really good at this, but I think that as a society, we become very comfortable with highlighting the negative. So we spent this entire time focusing on nothing negative and making sure that whatever we were articulating, we were really focused on making sure we were talking about the specifics of what they liked. And I think the takeaways would be awesome. So to anyone who's coaching out there, anyone who's out there working hard, trying to help young people or even help their team build, I encourage you to try this exercise. It's the confidence bank, where you sit down and each individual has to share a positive attribute about the sport and a positive attribute about the individual. And do not let them off the hook. If someone says, come back to me, don't. Take advantage of that awkward silence. Push them, make them stretch their minds. It's always been said that championship teams spend a lot of time together, and it may require you to spend more time outside of the sport with your teams to be able to make sure that they can do that and be successful. We took notes. Our coach took the notes. I think that's really important because you don't want it to be that you make these comments and you can never really see that again. So we took notes, and after taking those notes, those will all be transcribed and go back to the players. Everyone keeps their phone on them, so they'll be able to have those positive things in their phones. And the reason why that's important is you want to be able to make sure that you can go and look at those positive attributes, because this world is filled with so many negative comments, so many things that our young people are trying to overcome. And if they can go back and look at their notes to where their teammates, people who have been in the fight with them, can look back and look at those notes and say, wow, these teammates said all these positive things about me, those things will be able to help them move forward. So I just want to share that with you. Another comment I want to talk about, one of my good friends, we were talking about his sons in sports and talking about a player development piece as far as perfection. There are two attributes to perfection. There's positive perfection achievement. Then there's also a negative perfection achievement. And I think the challenge is that in many cases, we don't know which one is which. When you're trying to acquire a new skill and you're working really hard, it's really important that you have a positive attitude as far as that, so that when you don't make that skill or learn that skill the way you need to, you don't have a negative response. What we're finding is happening is when people are learning new skills, whether it's in sports or in life, and they're not doing well at learning them, they become very negative. And that can lead to a number of things. There's research to even support that during this skill development, if you take a negative attitude, it can connect to things like anxiety and depression, which are extreme responses to something. So you have to make sure that when you're in the process of learning something new, whether it's through sport, whether it's at your job, that you take a positive attitude and say that, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to make sure that I focus on, even if I don't learn this right, I'm going to continue to have a positive attitude. We have to be proactive about being positive. We have to be proactive about being positive. If not, the human mind is an amazing thing. It will allow the negativity to take over. So now every time you try to learn this new skill, whether it's in sport or in life, unfortunately, you'll take a negative attitude about it. So with that, 2 things to recap. The confidence bank, if you're working to improve your team, if you're working to improve a player, you really want to talk about what those positive attributes are. It just may be a relationship between a coach and a player that, hey, you know what? I need to spend some more time giving positive attributes to this individual. I remember a young man a while ago that I met, and we talked about this, and I call it the taking out the garbage theory. A lot of dads out here, I know you won't pat your son or daughter on the back for taking out the garbage, or your son, I would say, because you expect him to do that. But this generation is different. So sometimes you still want to be able to add a positive attribute. Instead of saying, hey, son, I'm glad you took out the garbage, you can say, you know what? You're showing a lot of responsibility at home, and I appreciate that. Now, that's not you giving up on your cultural morals and values about, rewarding a young man for something they should do, but it's also giving them a way to increase the positivity. Every time there's an opportunity for you to bring positivity into a life of a young person, you have to take advantage of that. And don't assume that by not being positive that they're not going to benefit. They're dealing with so much negativity on a regular basis, whether they say it or not. And it's our job as coaches, as parents, as leaders, and as adults to be able to share as much positivity in their life as well. So with that, it was a great experience working with the young ladies today. I know it's been a while since we got on. I was a little bit under the weather. But I'm happy just to share that with you. To everyone who checked in, it's good to see so many people supporting. I hope things are going great in your life. Perse, I see you. I appreciate you and your outstanding work too. I just want to keep that in mind. So again, think positive, be positive, and enjoy the positive things that are going to happen in your life. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll respond back soon in the future. SPS, and we're out.